So my question is, are Italians particularly good at dealing with an Aztec siege monk push or anything of the like? Or even like an eagle siege push with Aztecs. That's huge as well. Like eagle siege monk even. Like I see Aztecs doing all these crazy all-ins. I don't know if Italians are the best to do it. Like they do get redemption. They do, but that's not. I feel like, is that the way to do it? Is that the way that you defend against an Eagle Siege monk push? Because the Aztec monks are just so much better than your own monks. Oh, and Dave already being a little bit annoying over here. He knows he can't lame, so if this had happened in a normal game, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Dave YOLO and go for the boar lure into his own base. That would actually be quite funny. But there is no laming allowed from game 2 onwards. Oh no, they're Imperial Age. No, they're Imperial Age alien. I thought that as well. I thought they were Castle Age. I tried masterpiecing someone with it. But they are Imperial Age units. Just something a little bit interesting here though. MrPlannerAoE is actually going for a slightly different build order to what I usually expect to see. He's going only 2 on wood, which may indicate that he wants to go up a little bit earlier. Which could indicate that he's going for towers. So I actually don't think that MrPlannerAoE is going for a boom approach here. Because I think that's kind of what Dave might be expecting here. I think against Aztecs, the boom approach isn't the best situation. Whereas if you can kind of dictate the pace of the game, I think that MrPlannerAoE can get an advantage pretty early. And Italians do have the cheaper age up as well, so you have more food for longer. So I actually kind of like the possibility of going for the men-at-arm tower kind of approach. He's setting more to wood now, so maybe this is just a specialized build order for an FC. Dave now going home and pushing his own deer. And pushing deer, like these deer are a nightmare to push for me. I hate pushing deer on hideout. It makes me so angry. Looks like MrPlannerAoE is only going to bother to push 2 of these deer in. I don't think it's super important to get all 4 deer on hideout, but it can be nice to get them. You also do want to be still getting the scouting information in case your opponent does go for some kind of crazy strategy. Nope, it looks like MrPlannerAoE will just hold open the gate with the sheep in a moment. Those poor little sheep, they had no chance. Planner going on to gold now, so this is very indicative of a standard fast castle build. Nope, it's not. This is a very interesting build. I have no idea what he's doing. He might just be doing straight archers here. He could maybe do a... Can he sell stone for an uptime? Like, Italians do have a really nice time because they have the cheaper ups here. I think this could be a stone selling FC. Do I like the capture age update? I haven't noticed anything too big. I do like that the tabs and the slides are a little bit smaller. I maybe would make them just a tad bigger than they are currently. But I do, as Alien said, I do love that they've added the numbers and the cues and whatnot. I think, honestly, like, there is this tiny little bit of space here, and I think if you moved it over very slightly, like, made it very slightly bigger, this is just like a nitpick that I would like to see. Like, I think it's more visible. So if I look on stream, it's quite small to see the upgrades. But I love the work that the Capture Age team are putting into it. It's gonna be a stone selling FC. Maybe even a bit of wood if MrPlanner has it. Now, with Italians on a, what, 21 pop, is this gonna be like a super quick boom, or is this gonna be more of a siege monk play? If it's a Siege Monk play, I feel like Aztecs are one of the worst possible civs to try and do a Siege Monk push with. Against, that is. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is a boom. And then the question is, how does Mr. Planner then react if Dave does go for a... The thing is that if you're selling a stone, then you have to collect the stone to get... You have to rebuy it later. I don't know what you do as Italians here. I guess you do have to just go for a Siege Monk push, right? Or maybe Knight Siege? Dave almost up to the Fuel Age now. He will be linking up to the Castle Age relatively soon. This is a very impressive build from Mr. Planner though. This will give him a Castle Age time of below 1330. So what he does with it, I'm still not certain. He hasn't dropped a barracks just yet. He hasn't dropped a range or anything. So this is really, and he's going quite heavy on gold. So it is indicating Siege Monk push. I'm not certain if he'll get the value he wants to get from a Siege Monk push. But it is looking that way inclined. I think as long as Dave goes for Monastery defense as soon as he sees it happening, I think he's in a perfectly fine position. He's not, in the grand scheme of things, he's only giving up a minute and a half after his opponent. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like Hammer, I was saying this before. Like, against Aztecs specifically, I think it's really bad, right? So Eagles are a hard counter to it. But also, Redemption Monks from Dave would be huge in the situation as well. And Aztec Monks are really hard to deal with. So this really puts the pressure on Mr. Planner to do damage early. But he also could just be looking at buying the stone for TC. No, this is moving out. So maybe just buying the stone for TCs and going for the fast uptime with the boom. Double Monastery. Is Mr. Planner a secret clown? And Dave sees the uptime, he instantly drops a barracks. I think Dave's just gonna make Eagles, he's gonna be fine. That is Saracens when they researched the unique tech. It's one of the worst unique techs. You have to invest into a castle to get the option to get it. And then it also costs resources to then get a rebate on your monks. I don't really like the position of these monasteries because monks are really freaking slow. Dave is already making Eagles, which are the perfect counter to this. MrPlannerAoE is going forward to drop a Siege Workshop now. Yeah, I still honestly think Atheism is more useful than Mazdra. Or what is it, Mazdra? Atheism still sucks. Like, you have to invest gold to then go. It's like the most petty technology. You're like, if I can't have these relics, I'm gonna deny more gold income from the relics. So it's, honestly, it still sucks. But it's not as bad as it used to be. We will see the monks trying to get those conversions on the Eagles here. But as long as Dave gets a decent number of Eagles out here, I think he's in a perfectly fine situation. He's already dropped a monastery to get some monks out. He will likely go for redemption. Mr. Planner already going for redemption. The thing is that, like, for redemption to get value, you have to have buildings you can convert, and they have to be, or they have to be siege to convert. I'm honestly not thinking Dave is going to be dropping a siege workshop. He's going to be making monks and eagles, and obviously monks and eagles is a much smaller investment than siege and monks. Basically alien. I do like that Mr. Planner is waiting for another unit behind this. I think it should be a Scorpion if I'm 100% honest. I don't think another Ram is going to get the value that Mr. Planner wants to get here. Dave also selling his stone here. So neither player's going for a boom, and I think this is fine for Dave. He's just going to sell his stone so he can get to redemption most likely. We do see him not producing anything out of that second monastery right now. Eagles are kind of out of position. I don't really love that they're out here. You know where the pressure's coming from if you're Dave. You could even argue about getting atonement in this situation as Dave as well. You can convert your opponent's monks, because you know there's monks here as well. But literally the only things that Dave can have converted on this side of his base are houses. Other than the villages and military units, of course. Why not Atonement first? I honestly wouldn't mind either first. They're not really wanting to take the risk here. The thing is that the house isn't really going to damage Dave too much. Except if he hasn't already dropped a house. He's dropping more houses now. But in general, losing a couple of houses at this point in the game isn't really an urgent indicator of needing to take a fight. We do see Atonement coming in. 14 Dave, let's go. So it's going to be funny because the Eagles are going to be behind the Monks here. The Monks are going to try and convert the Monks as well as the Ram. Atonement coming in for Mr. Planner as well. It's going to be hilarious. The Battle of the Monkers, basically. The thing is that Dave still overall has the better thing here going. He has the Eagles behind it. If you convert a monk with full faith, do you still get full faith? I'm actually interested to know. And look at that! Dave changing the conversions to the... What the fuck? I think there's too many monks here for Dave to clean them all up. I think maybe with a tiny bit more micro there, Dave might have actually been able to clean that fight up. This is for clown! Dave's going for another 2 monasteries, guys. And Mr. Planner's on 3 monasteries. And now Mr. PlannerAoE has more equals than Dave does. I'm not ready for this. Oh, and Mr. Planner gets another conversion. And the thing is that Dave can't convert his own units now. Oh, and Dave's pathing badly with that one. And he gets another conversion. And all of a sudden it was looking really good for Dave initially. And now it's looking bad. Maybe, could we argue that going for more eagles here was the better approach than going for so many monasteries? But there's 2 conversions happening for Dave at the moment. There's only 1 happening with Mr. Planner. Dave gets 2 conversions. Mr. PlannerAoE now trying to find the conversion there. If I'm Dave here, I delete this monk. Yeah, I would say, I think deleting the monk there was the right play. Can't select that eagle to see how much HP it's on. It's amazing how much the healing value you can get on in these fights. Oh no, Dave loses 2 more monks. This is a 3rd one. He's might get 1 back at this point. And Mr. PlannerAoE adding a 4th monastery of his own. And the thing is that Aztec monks are so hard to kill, even with counter units, because they're so tanky. There's so many monks here. I can't even brain right now. I don't think I've ever seen this in high-level games. I completely agree, best game so far. Like, I just hear lots of warlords and nothing else. I hate dealing with monks, but Dave is snowballing so hard right now. It was looking really good for Mr. Planner for a time there, but now there's just so many monks in the field for Dave. And the Eagles really helped with getting some of the kills as well. Another conversion for Mr. Planner. This is fucking ridiculous, can I just say? The only military units being made right now, I don't know if you guys count monks as military units, but the only military units that are being made are Dave's Eagle Warriors, which are being torpedoed between the 2 players. You just see like the war of Bibles right now. Well, Bibles and the Sun God, I guess. The thing is that Dave's economy behind this is honestly looking a little more smooth. Even though Mr. Planner is adding more, has more villages right now, Dave does have the second TC running. We do see Mr. Planner AoE going for forging right now, which may indicate that he's doing a, I'm gonna say Scouts transition? I'm gonna hesitantly say that because I honestly don't know what's gonna happen for the rest of this game. How many monks is that? That's 20 monks. I think that's 20 monks. It doesn't even, I can't even select these ones at the same time. 18 monks for Dave. So even if Mr. Planner AoE makes some scouts here, it's not gonna do shit. Dave can just convert all of the scouts. He can convert all of these houses. He can convert his siege workshop. He can convert all the villages. He can convert everything. Mr. Planner AoE looking like he's going for Imperial Age. What's he gonna do in Imperial Age? Maybe he'll go back onto the monks? Oh my god, he's gonna get block printing. He's gonna get block printing, guys. This is the way that Mr. Planner wants to play it. He wants to get to the point where he can get block printing and convert the Aztec monks from outside of their range. We do see all the monks being moved forward to get to the conversions. If Dave could convert these monasteries, I'm sure he'd be very happy to do so. He did just buy stone for a third town center. So I don't think he's expecting Mr. Planner AoE to be up just yet. And one of the nice things that you can do with monks like this is you can start converting the building and then switch targets. They come forward. I absolutely hate this mechanic, but that's how it works. Oh, somebody needs to message Mr. Planner AoE to say, so Dave to say, sell out for Shadow. You need to make sure. Nah, I wouldn't do that to him. He wants a chance of winning. He might even make a couple just for the lols though. I'd be down for that. So Dave has 14 Aztec monks and six Italian monks. Mr. Planner AoE has 5 of his own monks. We see theocracy? Heresy! Dave! Oh my god, the 400 IQ! He knows what's coming! He knows that Mr. Planner AoE is gonna go for the block printing approach. And every time that he gets a conversion now, it's not gonna benefit him in the same way it would before. Whereas if Dave gets a conversion, it still benefits him so much. I don't see any Zolotls in the queue just yet for Dave. I'm very disappointed by our wonderful Hungarian correspondent. I don't think I've ever seen Heresy. Like, in a proper game, I've never seen Heresy. Dave is moving back right now, so that means that he doesn't really want to take any trades right now. Even with Heresy in, he wants to be a little bit on the safe side. Does anyone know if Heresy impacts buildings as well? I think it does, right? So that means even if Mr. Planner AoE goes and reconverts these buildings, he can't actually get them back. And Dave is going to be taken up really soon, and so it means that even though Mr. Planner AoE does have the pressure with the earlier uptime here, he needs to capitalize off of it is the problem. I think he's in for a nasty shock when he realizes that Dave's already got Heresy. I don't think that Mr. Planner AoE is going for anytime soon. We do see Mr. Planner AoE adding a TC. So I think he realizes that now he has to try and boom whilst he has a bit of time to get some eco running. But I don't think he realizes that Dave's economy is on 3 TCs already. So it's looking like a really good position for Dave to win this. Dave is slowly trying to clean up these monasteries. He probably... Eagles get bonus damage, and that Eagle's doing so much damage to that battering ram. And look at this. Look at that, and they die. So all of a sudden, it's just this is so good for Dave. Like, even if he loses a couple of monks here, he gets all of the conversions, and this is Dave 400 IQ, guys. And he's even bringing in relics whilst all this is happening. Rip your points. Only Gelados. I really want to see one as well, false. I want to see one just to... It has like a really satisfying attack sound. I think it's the same as the Jaguar Warrior. And the Heresy is so good for Dave. That is hilarious. Dave could literally just make eagles now. And like a few monks. He doesn't even need to make more monks. He will. Wait. Why are these not healing each other? If they have more HP. That's so strange that the monks aren't actually healing each other right now. Unless that's a problem here. He would smash Aztecs. Yeah, I'm really surprised he went for a Siege Monk push on Aztecs of all civs. We do see MrPlannerAoE going for some scouts. I have news for you, MrPlannerAoE. With this many monks, you need about 30 or 40 scouts, I think. I don't think you can make just like 10 or 20. Like, you have to make so many scouts to then clean up this monk mass. Do Aztecs get level better? So I'm sure they do. We do see light cavalry coming in for MrPlannerAoE. He's dropping a castle. Dave has a stone for a castle though, so he can drop his own castle for some trebs. And monks and treb push are terrifying, might I just add. The villager count is roughly even. It's 68 to 64 in favor of Dave, but Dave's eco has been working a little bit longer than MrPlanner's eco has been. Forward castle from Dave here. It is a little bit risky placing it here because obviously Dave doesn't know that there is a castle here. I think that with MrPlanner's buildings, he should be able to see that castle. Oh, he won't be able to. That's actually kind of unfortunate. What's the deal with this show match? This is both the players themselves organize the show match of their own accord. And Dave going for the slightly safer castle now. I kind of like that. Wait. There was a castle there. Oh, it's so not annoying. Guys, there is a castle here. We just can't see it because DE/Capture Age is having a bit of a spaz. AoE Riot. I really want to see just one from Dave. Come on, Dave, make us proud. Doesn't even need to kill anything. Just make one. But I wouldn't message him in this. It'd be distracting. That'd be unkind. We see Genbo coming up from MrPlannerAoE. Maybe with enough light cav and enough Genbo, maybe the monk mass could be cleaned up. Wait, did just half of those units disappear? Guys, what is this shit? Is that DE? Let's have a look at DE. DE is not having an issue. Okay, so I think it's on Capture Age's end at the moment. I'm just gonna quickly switch over to DE for the moment, whilst we're having a few issues. Restart Capture Age. We will do it in a moment. I just want to make sure that we're capturing the game. Let me give me 1 second. I'll put DE's music back on. So there's a nice little bit of a ram push happening there. Our capped rams. And these are garrison with eagles, I think. I didn't get to see that, unfortunately. And I think it's now the light cover forced to be dealing with this rather than going forward to clean up the treb and the massive monks. I do think that Dave very much has this. The score difference is 3k, or yeah, 2k in favor of Dave. And he's gonna easily get this castle down. There's so many monks behind this push that it's gonna be so hard for MrPlannerAoE to do a whole lot. He does still have a lot of eco though. +1 defense, +1 defense coming in. GG is called. Well played to Dave, taking out game 3.